Riley. How may I help you today?
Hey Riley, I was just wondering if I could book an appointment.
Great news. We've got openings from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. tomorrow. What time works best for you?
Let's go with 2 p.m.
Okay, you are all booked and good to go.
And if you check the calendar, you can see 2 p.m. July 30 is booked in. What you just saw was an AI voice agent I just built for one of my clients. And this agent handles common questions and books appointments directly into their calendar. And so with AI voice agents becoming more and more popular, it's crucial to learn how to build these either to sell to businesses or to implement into your own company. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I built this system and the tools that I used so you can learn and build your own. Lastly, for those of you who do not know who I am, my name is Enzo Bakioki, and I'm building an AI agency from scratch and sharing everything that I learned. So if you're serious about getting into AI and learning how to build, or you're a business owner that wants to see how AI can help its business, this channel and this video is for you. So to build this AI voice agent, we're going to be needing to use some tools. And so the tools that we're going to be using is VAPi for the voice agent itself, and then make.com for the integration and the calendar setup, and which we'll be using Google Calendar for those tools. And within Make, we'll be building two automations. So the first one is basically going to be getting the calendar availability, and the second one is going to be booking the appointment directly into the Google Calendar. So the first thing we're going to need to do is go to VAPi AI, and this is the system that we're going to be building this voice agent on. So when you enter, you'll be able to sign in, and then you can open dashboard and you can get straight into your account. And yeah, I'll just be showing you the one that I built and the certain things that you need to do when building it. So when you create a new assistant, it'll open something like this, and it'll have a prompt already in there and some other information. And there's a lot that you can actually like customize within this. You can change the voice. VAPi is really good with realistic voices, so that's one reason I really like VAPi. It doesn't even sound like an AI voice agent, and it also allows you to create and connect tools within it. The agent that I built is this one here. I chose the Kylie voice, and the prompt here, I didn't do as detailed of a prompt because the only thing that I'm trying to do here is just to get it to book this appointment, and it kind of goes through a step-by-step here. You can see ask for their full name, ask for the purpose, so it kind of has this step-by-step. However, for more complex voice agents, you'll want your prompt to be more complex. The other thing I like about VAPi is you can add custom knowledge bases. So here, I have the knowledge base for this business here, and so whenever someone asks business-oriented questions, all the answers will be in there. And yeah, you can go through, customize exactly what you want. Since we're building a inbound voice agent, we're gonna want a first message when the person calls, and it'll say something like, "This is Riley, how may I help you?" Whatever you want. I actually want to change this to Grace. This is Grace, how may I help you? So yeah, that's mainly it for here, setting this up. The temperature and all that you can also change if you want. I just have it set to the basic, what it comes with. And the most important part that we're going to be covering is the tools. So within VAPi, there's tools that you can build. And when you click Create Tool, you'll see there's all these things to choose from. I messed around with actually choosing the Google Calendar tool directly to be able to get the functionality within VAPi. However, I noticed it was a lot easier just to create a custom tool. So that's what I did. When you create a custom tool, you have to name it, give it a description, and this description is kind of like the prompt for the tool. So when the agent uses it, it's going to be using that prompt to know exactly what to say. So what I noticed gets the best results is when you use ISO 8601 format for the time. That may sound really complicated, and what is that? All that is simply just a time format that makes it easier for VAPi to use. And I also had to specify 2025 because I was getting a lot of random dates from like 2023 whenever it would book. So I specified 2025. And yeah, you can copy that description if you want, if you're building something similar. And the other thing you want to have to do is, this is the HTTP request, the webhook. And to set that up, we're going to have to go to make.com. So once we choose the agent that we want, put in the prompt and all that, and we figure out what tools we're going to need. In my case, it is getting the appointment, the different times that were available, and also booking that. Now we can go to make.com to start setting up this automation. So now that we're in make.com, we can see this is the exact automation that I personally built. But when you open it up, it'll be a blank page, and you can add modules. I can show you what it looks like. You can just add a module, and the first module you want to add is a webhook, and we're going to build a custom webhook here. When you do that, you'll get this URL that you're going to be copying, and that's what you'll be pasting over here into VAPi for the URL. Don't worry about the secret token or anything else. However, if you want, you can add messages, so when the tool gets triggered, the voice agent will say something. So what I found to be the most efficient is having the agent speak when it's request complete, because if it doesn't, it just stops talking and you don't really know what to say. Or you're like, did they leave? So the thing that I said that makes it the best method, I would say, is to ask, or is to have the agent ask a question once it runs the tool. So it runs the tool and it's going to say, got it. Do you have your calendar open? Because now what you can say is, yes, I do. And then it's going to spit out the information that it got. And then if request failed, you want it to say, give me a minute, just to give it some time. So that's what you need to set up here in the tool. Create a custom tool, give it a name, and then for the parameters, you want to come here and you want to add a property. And within it, you want to have the date in string format, and then you want to make sure the date is in ISO 8601 format. Again, this is crucial because it's going to make it so it's not going to break anywhere within the process. So once you have that built, we can come back over here to make.com. So you have that webhook. The next thing you want is you want a Google Calendar module. This is what we're going to be using to find the availabilities. And once you open it, you can add your personal calendar. And what's important here is you want to have the tool calls. So you want to have the date. So once you run that webhook, you'll be able to come here and you can go to date, and you want to plug that in here because that's saying the minimum time. This is when the time starts. So at this date, this is when we're going to start looking for availability. We're not going to be looking super far back. That's what we want. We want it to look for starting at the date, and that's going to be given by the customer when they ask. So we have the date, and then we're going to make sure we do set hour 0. I don't know exactly why, but I know this is how it works, so just make sure to copy that directly. Same here for the maximum time. You want to do the date, and then you want to add days, set hour 0 and 1. Then again, I don't know exactly why, but I know that's how it works best. So if you want to figure out why, you can understand all that, but for me, I just want to make sure it works, and so that's how it works. And then you want to choose your primary calendar. So come in here, choose the one that you're going to be using, and then click Save. So now it has basically what's going to be doing. It's going to be doing this webhook, it's going to be going, and it's going to be getting this information from your Google Calendar and spitting it back out. However, when it spits back out, it's going to be in a pretty messy format. It's not going to be able to be read. So what we need is this JSON transformer. So we're going to add that module in, and then we're going to add the info that we want from the Google Calendar. In this case, you're going to come to here, click down, and you can click busy, input that directly into here, and that's going to be getting all your busy times, the times you're not available, so it'll be able to see when you are available, so it'll be able to tell the customer we're available from these times. And then you want to make sure to add a OpenAI or an LLM step. This is just to get rid of any issues so it can spit back and answer very cleanly without any craziness. So this is, you can just copy directly here. So you want to choose the system. I chose 4L Mini. Then you want to have this first message. So you're going to have a developer system from you can choose. You want to put in just a basic prompt. You're helpful. Going back to my prompt engineering video, this will all make sense. Like, you are a helpful, intelligent appointment booking assistant. And the next one is you want to have this user role. And you want to basically say this. You want to say your task is to input a bunch of busy information and output an availability in natural language under a string availability times. And then return your answer in JSON. And then, yeah, you can copy this in here. This will just let the LLM know exactly the format you want it to be given when it's returning the information to the customer. And then here you want to specify your hours of operation so it knows the hours where you usually will be available. So it's not going to ever give you anything that's outside of that. So in this case, 9 to 5. And make sure to say do not return anything but the JSON string. Click Save. And then the last step here in the LLM is to have another user role and then busy as the JSON string. And here basically we're going to take that JSON block from the last module, this one right here, and we're going to chuck it directly into the text context. So now it knows this is what it's been given, and now what do I need to do with it? And in this case, it's going to spit back out available times. So boom. You also want to make sure to parse the JSON response. This just allows it so you can take the different piece and plug it into the webhook at the end. That may sound complicated, but yeah, just make sure to have it parsed. And then the last is another webhook. And basically, this one, you need to make sure you have it in this JSON format. If you go to the VAPi format for tools, they actually have that in there. So you can just come here, you scroll down, this right here. So basically, if you copy this, you come back over here and you plug that in, and then you just change that ID to your exact ID from your original webhook, which is right here. If you plug that in, then it's going to be always using your webhook. And then for the result, make sure to put in the exact result in this case, which is availability times, which it knows from the last step. It put it into a format that's going to be easy for it to respond in, which is this chunk right here. So once you do that, now you've done basically everything you need for the checking the availability times. And then the next thing you want to build is a tool that actually books it. So let's go back to VAPi, and now we're going to make a book calendar event. So this is going to give the tool a description. So this description, I also made sure to specify 2025 so it wasn't giving me anything crazy. Again, these voice AI agent tools are good, but they're not perfect yet. So sometimes you need to specify things like that. And then, yeah, just make sure to specify the ISO 8601 format, and then come down, do the same thing you did before. So you're adding a property, you're saying date, and you're putting date is constructed in ISO 8601 format, just so it's uniform across the entire automation and it's not going to mess up. And then the same thing, you're going to put in that URL. However, you're not going to put in the URL from this one. You're going to create a new scenario within Make. You can come here, click scenarios, add a new scenario, and this is that second scenario. So here, basically, we're going to add another webhook, copy that address to clipboard, come back in here, you're going to copy it. Then again, don't worry about any of the other stuff. The only one I did for this one was the request complete. So when it's done, it's going to give a message. So once it actually books the appointment, the agent's going to say this line: you're all booked, good to go. Anything else I can help you with today? So yeah, that's all you got to worry about for that tool. And then back over here in this automation, you want to create an event in Google Calendar. This will allow the events to actually be added into the custom calendar or into that business's calendar. So you're going to come here and you're going to choose the exact calendar you want. So you could make sure you choose the one, and then you want to go through here and you want to choose your calendar, choose the event name, so when it's booked, what it will look like. And then you want to grab the information from this webhook and the start date. So the start date, kind of like the other one, is right here. So this is the start date. This is when it's going to be looking for appointments to book. It's not going to be going anytime before this date because that's the date that the client gave. And so in here in the start date, you see this bit of text. So this right here is the date that the customer actually gave. So you can see here, they said they wanted 2:30 p.m. July 30th. And so now it's going to add that start date and it's going to plug that into the Google Calendar as the time. And then you can say how long you want the appointment for. So if you want 30 minutes, an hour, you can change that here, and that'll directly affect the Google Calendar. Click Save, and then you want to add another webhook, and this is the last thing. This one's, you want to copy that same JSON from the last one, and this one is just going to say, it's going to get the ID from this webhook, and all it's going to say is booked successfully. So now it knows that there is a success code because it's booked. And yeah, that's just going to make the whole automation once again uniform. So once you do that, now you have these two automations, and I just have them on immediately as data arrives. So the second someone answers the phone and they give their name and all that, and they book the appointment, it's going to automatically run, so you don't always have to be clicking run. So just make sure you put it on immediately as data arrives for both of them. And now if we come back here and we go to the assistants, once we've completely customized this to what we want, I notice another thing here is when you are creating your prompt, I like to add these things here. So be sure to be kind, funny, and witty. Keep your responses short and simple. Use casual language and phrases like well, and I mean. This allows the voice agent to sound more natural and more human. So yeah, I would say add those no matter what you do, just to get the best result. And then you can add a knowledge base if you want, once again, and then come down here to tools, and now you're going to add in those tools that you just built. And so now what's going to happen is we can come here and we can just click chat, so we don't actually have to call. We can just do it here. So I can say, I want to book a appointment, click send. It's going to ask for your full name. This is just for the appointment specifications. And then the purpose, a tour. You want to tour the facility. Got it. When would you like to schedule it? Any preferred date and time? Let's say we'll just go July 30 and see what times they spit out. So July 30. It's going to use that get calendar availability. It knows it's free from 9 to 5 because there's nothing else in the calendar. So I'm just going to say, let's go with 2 p.m. I'm putting it in the time that I want, and it knows it's July 30th. And now it should use the second tool. There it is. It's using the book calendar event. It was booked successfully, and now you can see your tour is booked for July 30 at 2 p.m. So now if we go to my calendar, we can see that, okay, so this was the test that I did before, but you can see here that there is a tour scheduled for 2 to 2:30 p.m. because that's what we said. We wanted it to be a 30-minute tour on Wednesday, July 30th. And if you notice that it's not showing the exact time, make sure your time zones are correct. Make sure you're saying you're in the Americas, especially within your calendar, whatever time zone you're in, make sure that's specified across VAPi and Google Calendar, so there's no differences there. So we saw that it worked in the chat, but I just want to use the actual voice assistant. So I'm going to go here on my phone and click Talk to Assistant just so we can do it here, and we're just going to run through the whole scenario again.
Thank you for calling Woodland Terrace. This is Riley. How may I help you today?
Hey Riley, this is Enzo Bakioki, and I'm wondering if I could book an appointment.
Hey Enzo, sure thing. What's the purpose of your appointment?
Yeah, the appointment is just for a tour of the facility.
Got it. A tour of the facility. When works best for you? Date and time.
Maybe anytime July 30th.
Got it. Do you have your calendar open?
Yeah, I do.
All right, Enzo. We've got openings on July 30th between 9 a.m. and 12 p.m. or 12:30 p.m. to 5 p.m. What time works for you?
So let's go with 12 p.m.
Perfect. So July 30th at 12 p.m. for a tour. Sound good?
Yeah, that works.
Okay. You are all booked and good to go. Is there anything else I can help you with today?
No, that is all. Thank you. So it got quiet there at the end and my phone turned off, but you can see when it ran the tool, it gave me that message, is your calendar open? And that showed that it ran the tool. And there we go. That was a AI voice agent that handles calls and books appointments directly into the business's calendar. So if you're into AI automation, you're building things for clients, or you're trying to see how you can start building things for businesses and sell to them, consider subscribing, because that's exactly what I'm doing here on this channel. I post a video every week or so documenting the things that I'm learning and building. And if you need help with building anything, or you just want to let me know what you thought of the video, consider dropping a comment. That means a lot, and I read every one of them. So yeah, I'd really appreciate that. You can also follow me on my other socials. They're all going to be in the description below. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.